It's kind of a sleepy Friday here. Sun isn't shining, it's kind of cloudy, and we're all wanting to take naps and everything.
Yeah, it's not Friday.
Well, it's not Friday. And it's not Friday. We got a really rough week here. Whew. Maybe a little bit of nutmeg will perk me up here. Hold on. Where the scent comes through. Wow. Welcome to this Thursday's live at the Nutmeg Tavern. And we're going to have an exciting show here. We're going to wake up and we're going to have fun. So welcome. Come on in to the Nutmeg Tavern. Plenty of room. Empty tables over there by the fireplace. He's serving out. Look at those glasses. There you go. Ryan's got on. That's Ryan back there, if you don't know. Ryan's, the time vortex was like something crazy was happening and it like did something with his glasses. So excuse his glasses. You can't see the screen without them. So welcome, Ryan.
Hello. It's good to be here today.
You do look funny with those glasses on. The guy who's in charge of the time vortex and all the other technology that makes it happen, I have no idea what's going on with it. I just do this thing and all that stuff happens over there. Aaron.
Happy Thursday, everyone.
You know, I think we're going to start off with a recipe that we'll never do. What do you think? A recipe that we'll never do in the German kitchen. We're not going to do it outside. We're not going to do it in a canoe. We're not going to do, sort of like a book, I know. We're not going to do this one. And this one is from, I really like this recipe book. This is William Robish's The Whole Book of Cookery Dissected from 1682. To boil carps an honorable way. Take 2 live carps, or as many as you intend to boil. Knock them on the head. Open them in the belly and draw them clean. Take heed you break not the gall. Wash out the blood with a little claret wine and save it. Don't lose that blood. Salt them well on the bellies and save the scales as whole as you can on them. So you save the scales. Don't scale them. We don't want that. Set your pan with fair water and a quart of vinegar, sweet herbs, half a dozen cloves of garlic. This has got garlic in it, which is interesting. Sliced ginger, half mace or a large mace, a quarter of a nutmeg, and a handful and a half of salt. A handful and a half of salt. With lemon or 2 cut in slices. When your pan boils, put your carps upon your false bottom. So apparently it's a special pan so you don't burn them on the bottom. And whilst they boil, make your sauce after this manner. Take the body of a crab or 2, put it into a deep dish. Put to it the blood of your carp and claret wine before named, with 2 or 3 little anchovies, a little thyme, fennel minced exceedingly small, some oyster liquor, vinegar and salt, and half a dozen oysters minced. Let this stew up together. Be ready with your carp. If it stew up all together, and be ready with, if it be thick, you may add a little claret wine or gravy, if none be offended. When it is enough, grate a nutmeg into it, beat it up with the yolk of an egg, a little drawn butter, put it to a half a dozen large saucers. It ought to be a little thinner than mustard. Then take up your carps, being quick boiled, and dish them onto a large dish and plate. Garnish the rims thereof and underneath with fennel and flowers or orange peel minced. Garnish your carps with oysters fried up in eggs. And put your saucers on your dish around your carps and serve it up. Whew.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah, well, no, let's not do that one tomorrow. You know, the joke about carp, of course, is, you know, you tie it to the board and you cook it, and then you throw away the carp and you eat the board. Apparently, They didn't think. I mean, they took. I mean, they're just going all out with these boiling carps, as he would say here in 1682. So there are a lot of recipes that we don't do on the channel, and you can probably see why.
Should we talk a little bit about what we've been gearing up for and why we're so worn out?
You would know better than I.
We've got a very special guest that we're going to be filming with
Yeah.
tomorrow and Saturday.
Yes.
And we're excited about that.
Yes.
And we put a lot of work into that. And so that's why today's live stream is today.
So we're not going to tell them who it is.
No.
Oh, no.
No. It's a very special guest.
Yeah.
And I will go on a limb to say you would never expect this one.
I hazard a guess that they could probably guess 1,000 times and they wouldn't get it.
And we're also tired because we just put a new roof on the cabin.
Well, there was that, and I just was out at the cabin site prepping for all the. We're going to be shooting in the cabin. We're going to be shooting outside the cabin. We're going to be shooting in the German kitchen. We're going to be here in the Nutmeg Tavern. We're going to just go do crazy stuff.
Man.
It's going to be insane.
Speaking of the roof, thanks so much for watching that episode.
Yeah. Lots of fun comments.
Yeah. It was really well received. Thank you for that.
Aaron and Caleb did an amazing job. Ryan had some music in there, or was it Caleb's? Probably Ryan's.
Yeah.
Both. And, I mean, it was great.
Yeah, thanks for watching it. We really appreciate it.
It was a fun project to work on together.
It was tiring, though.
Yes.
Took a long time. Thank goodness for. Today's live stream topic is we're going to do just a quick. I mean, this is mostly Q&A for you guys. You can ask questions, whatever. We're going to run through some bird images from the 18th century. So we've talked about things like pets in the past and horses and livestock, and so Lauren put together images about birds and how we see them in the in art in the 18th century. And there's some fun, very interesting images. And this isn't like birds like, well, we have all kinds of birds. So let's jump into it. We start off with falconry. Yeah, falconry is happening in the 18th century. Actually, this is probably, this is more than likely a 17th century image, very late in the 17th century. His outfit, his coat kind of says, 1690 or to 1700 with those little tiny buttons and lots down the front. Falconry isn't happening at all that I know of in North America, but it is happening in Great Britain and parts of Europe. And we've got these very almost military looking gentlemen down there on the left-hand side. We've got hunting dogs, and then we've got a couple of men with falcons. So this is, in theory, a British work of art here. I would almost have guessed that it was more European here, continental, but British. So there we have falconry. We also have sporting. Here we have pheasant shooting. Of course, that pheasant's not very far away. Pheasants, of course, you couldn't have them like where the distance you normally expect. But this is late 18th century, 1690. George Moreland doing this hunting party here, and we have the little helper here on the very left-hand side, kind of in a livery or a hunting outfit. We've got a farmer there in his smock. We've got the two hunters there in basically the center. We've got hunting dogs. They don't look like your classic hunting dogs, but they didn't have the same kind of all the specialty dog breeds that we kind of think of today, but they're classic fun hunting dogs. And yeah, this is the way gentlemen would dress for a hunting party in this circumstance.
It's a lot different than now.
Right, exactly. This image we've had way in the past. This is a market girl, and Henry Walton is the artist here, 1776, 1777, and the bird here is the chicken in the basket. So is she coming home from market, or is she going to take the chicken to to the market? We don't know. Boy, she looks pale, like she's just about ready to keel right in. Well, she does. This one is French, and there's a lot of these sort of fun, almost chalky looking or colored pencil images. And this one's called The Bee and the Hen. And what we have here in sort of the background there is a little shelter for bee skeps. And those skeps are interestingly shaped, very, very cylindrical, not like the kind of dome shape that we expect to see. And the classic hen there in the foreground. Nice rustic, gives us a nice rustic agricultural feel, a little farm feel. Beautiful, again, kind of charcoal thing here. We got some white charcoal and darker work on sort of in between paper. We've got the chicken and the egg in the background, the boy holding the egg. Just beautiful, beautiful art. And there certainly in this time period, there's that harken back to, actually this is an Italian work, that there's a certain amount of art that's happening where the people are interested in pictures of rustics. So obviously, poor people can't afford art like this, but artwork of poor people was popular. If that's, if that's a kind of, I don't know, they're called genre paintings in the time period, so they were just common images. We also have sort of finer artworks. This is a Hungarian artist that is popular or is painting in Great Britain in the 18th century. And he's got all kinds of birds in here. Just, sort of total mix and match. Muscovy ducks and regular mallard ducks. We've got a cardinal flying up. We've got parrots.
Doesn't know anything about the birds of a feather.
Yeah, parakeets. We got strange, both domestic and there's just all mixed up. Like none of these birds go together.
They don't flock together, that's for sure.
Well, they're doing it here. They're flocking together, man.
This is like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, it is, Ryan.
You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, I do. Quick.
Get out of here.
Quick. So, we're on the grounds of an estate. We can see the estate in the background, but we have they have fancy chickens and looks like doves or pigeons too, fancy pigeons and doves. But we've got Polish crested chickens, and we've got some of those. Yeah, the chicks are some of them Polish crested chicks because you can see the extra little fluffy bit on their head. Chicks playing in the water, hopefully they're not drowning. So yeah, fancy chickens on a fancy estate.
Man.
This one is called the Egg Merchant, and those just aren't any eggs. They've got to be like goose eggs or something. Big eggs, and she's probably taking, it's Egg Merchant, so she's taking them to market also. And it's interesting, the outfit here she's got with the very, very voluminous sleeves on that, which is a little different than what I would normally expect. This has got a great story. This is from a fable book, and it's a story about a woman who's riding to market with her horse. She's got this giant basket full of eggs, and she's dreaming about all the money she's going to come back with. She's going to go to market. She's not paying attention. The raven makes a noise, scares her horse, and down goes a basket and smashes all the eggs. And her dreams of money are gone. The artist here is Stubbs. And Stubbs is famous artist of the time period. He's famous for his pictures of horses. This is really kind of a little outside of his normal kind of art, where the horse is really, I mean, there's a horse in here, but the horse is generally the sort of centerpiece here. But this has a lot more action going on in it and has a real story behind it. So it's not a normal Stubbs kind of image. So birds, this is we're looking at headdress and lots of plumes. Plumes are very, very popular in the time period. Feathers for decoration of hair. And this is obviously just a little more than you would expect. This is Italian of that time period. And then here's another one. You can go on, Aaron. There you go. There's your classic. I mean, pretty much the same kind of hairstyles that we use today. Again, plumes, very popular. I'm surprised their necks sort of can handle this sort of thing. So do we want to take a break?
Sure.
Go over to Ryan?
We've got a ton of super chats. We've got some comments in the regular chat. Okay, so Alexander's in super chat. Congratulations on your latest cabin video. It was an absolute delight to watch.
Thank you very much.
Vinny, thank you for keeping all of this amazing knowledge alive.
Thank you.
We've got Plain Jane. Raise your tankards to Townsend's Extreme Throwback Thursday. Gonna enjoy wassail crap and my tavern mug with friends tonight. Love what you do.
Yes.
Kiltwood 5. Great episode the other day. Didn't think shingles could be so interesting. Heather is in here around for the roofing crew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron is in here. How long did it take to put the roof on?
Well, I spent weeks working on the shingles. So if you add the shingles, making the shingles, and I was cheating, okay? I'll just say it right up here. I was cheating on the shingles. And it still took weeks to get all those shingles. They're all white oak, and a lot of work went into making all that happen. But the roofing itself was probably 2 days.
Yeah.
But
We got those logs.
gosh.
Back in June.
June, I
maybe?
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Mike Howells in Super Chat. Happy Friday Eve, Townsends. Really been loving all the content as usual. Any cool winter projects planned for the cabin?
well, we're going to be working on the cabin tomorrow, or is it Saturday? Soon.
Tomorrow.
So we've got some cabin work to do, but not any really big projects. But then again, we're really poor at planning out things very much in advance. So, I mean, we could have a big project like next week, for all I know.
Yeah.
It's just all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's do this amazingly big, impossible to do project. Okay.
So one comment that seemed pretty persistent was like an ASMR style video with rain on the cabin roof and the fire, and maybe even to look out the window for some of it. But that seems interesting, and maybe even with snow. So we could probably look into something like that.
Sounds cold.
Yes. Michael McElroy is in the super chat. And for folks who don't know, Michael McElroy has a show on Townsends Plus called The Bygone Brewer.
Yes.
He's doing great content there. Now that there's more permanent roof on the cabin, there needs to be a brew day to enjoy small beer by the fire.
Oh.
I could not agree more. So that
Definitely.
sounds fun. Kyle Wayne 3. I absolutely love all the cabin homestead videos. Keep up the great work. I also have one question. What are the dimensions of your cabin?
The inside dimensions, I believe, are 14 by 16 or 18, something like that. It's actually bigger on the inside, wider on the inside than the German kitchen is.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very typical of that sort of time period. They would have cabins somewhere between 16 by 20 and to, maybe on the small size, 12 by 18. But generally that 14
I think we ended up at 14 by 18 because we were talking about 12 by 16 at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it depends on whether you're counting the outside, since the walls are this thick,
Right.
the outside of the inside.
Right. And which corner are you measuring from?
Yeah, because it might not be split.
It looks like Devora BR in Super Chat. Do you have any evidence of songbirds being used in recipes in the 18th century?
Hold on. We're going to get there.
Somebody commented, songbirds are delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I've got a couple of questions that I saved over here. Where can you get the tool to make the shingles? They're talking about a fro.
Yeah, froze. You can find antique froze on eBay, and you even can find some froze in modern tool, things. There are great froze and expensive froze and cheap ones, even on that one place that's named after some river in South America.
How common would it have been for these artists to be drawing from life? I have a hard time imagining they could get a parrot just for a painting.
I don't think it would be too difficult. Parrots aren't that strange in the time period. There was plenty of commerce going on with different parts of the world, and all kinds of exotic pets birds were showing up in places. So.
You see pet birds more than you would think.
Yeah.
Adventures in Vlog series on Super Chat. Thank you for all you do. I just got my writing kit in the mail yesterday. When do you think you will be building your new earthen oven for the cabin?
Well, there's the big oven, and it's right there by the cabin.
Yeah.
So the cabin has an oven that's just right outside the door.
And somebody says, "Why are you on YouTube? Please answer."
Why are we on YouTube? Because we've been there for like 12 years, and
Well, yeah, when it started, there wasn't another platform like that, really.
Right,
Right.
So once you're there, you're kind of there.
And we like YouTube.
Yeah.
John Talley in Super Chat. How did people keep their chickens warm over the winter back then? Would that have been a concern?
I've had chickens in the wintertime. I've never had any great concern with keeping them warm. They're pretty hardy. If you're concerned about them, there are some chicken breeds that are a little better at winter. The ones with the feathered feet and kind of plumper chickens with more feathers, not something like those scrawny white ones. Yeah.
Okay, and then somebody has said that their daughters are headed to school tomorrow with homemade muskets and tricorn hats. Thanks for the inspiration.
Yeah, sounds great.
Right. Hopefully they're allowed in school with those muskets.
Yeah. Better be careful there.
Somebody says, Ryan, I love your hat. Is it available at Townsends? Yeah.
That's funny. It depends on who's making hats.
Yeah, I'd have to make it. So, we'll see. And that kind of catches us up. I think we're good for... Oh, here's a good question. Where would you find a salamander for your macaroni recipe?
Well, we used to sell salamanders, and we're thinking about bringing them back.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, if we can twist somebody's arm to make them.
Man.
They're...
If you twist their arm, they won't be able to make them.
Well, if we can bribe them, how about that?
Yeah.
We'll try. We're going to try. Maybe redesign them just a little bit. You got to get the thickness of the metal just right. So you don't want them to be so thick that they're too hard to heat up, and then you don't want them to be so thin that they cool down too fast. So it's a tricky little thing there.
And then do you remember how thick we made the walls on the last oven?
Oh, they're upwards to 5 to 6 inches on the last oven, the big one. Yeah,
I think 6 inches is a good number to go with.
Yep. There is I'm sure I haven't had a chance. It's a little tricky to go through this cookbook, but it's the one I have in my hands. And let's see. Okay, here we go. I found it. cooking or serving up how to carve swan, goose, turkey, or bustard. We don't have bustards around here. Herons, mallards, conies, pheasants, partridge, quail, cranes. So you can eat up those sandhill cranes.
Man.
Bitterns, curlews, and plovers, woodcocks, a snipe, which probably is a snipe. Lots of birds in here. Ortolans are generally in cookbooks, and who knows what other kinds of birds you're going to find when you open up your 18th century cookbook.
Oh, well, here it is right now on Super Chat. Maybe weather or ASMR videos from the cabin and elsewhere on Townsends Plus.
Yeah.
People want those ASMR videos.
We'll make it. I'll talk about twisting somebody's arm. You can still have your arm twisted and edit a video. So we're definitely going to make that happen.
Somebody asked, where can I find a cheese press? You're probably better off making a cheese press, I would guess.
There are cheese presses available.
Yeah?
I'm trying to think of, was the place called Mr. Sausage? There's a, I don't know. I'll see if I can find a link. There's a place out there that does a lot of sausage equipment, and they do cheese equipment also. And cheese presses should not be that difficult to find. People like cheese. I like cheese.
Man.
It's true. Let's jump in.
I'm laughing at the chat. Somebody said, hey, Joey, Google cheese making equipment.
Oh. Hey, now.
Ready?
We are. I am.
All right.
Now, there's some birds there. Giant pigeon. I don't know what that one is that's hanging up there. There's like sausage behind it. There's a giant fish by this guy. We've got all kinds of dead birds here and dead fish. We got ducks. We've got this really just ugly plucked turkey head over there, but not the rest of the body. I don't understand why we have coins and cards on the front of the table. Sorry, guys, I can't explain that. We've got other sort of birds, definitely not game birds, here on the extreme left. I love this. Now, this is an early image. This is probably about 1620. And, of course, I'm always looking at pottery pieces. That mug that's in the extreme left, I like that. I want to make one of those down in the in the pottery. Beautiful picture there beside it, and of course, way on the other side, we've got that meat pie. Now, that little crimped meat pie there. Ooh, I want to know what's in that.
That's tall.
Yeah. Very similar to the ones we did in that first meat pie episode.
That guy is just beaming.
Yeah.
He looked like me when I was holding that turkey.
Yep.
I was a happy boy that day.
Well, and you kind of wonder what that, whether that's.
Suit.
I don't wonder.
You don't want to know what's in that
I
bowl.
know what that is.
Thanks.
What? Next slide. Here we go. So this is. Let me read you this. Having stewed your quails in a good broth with salt and a bunch of herbs, pound some almonds, which are to be strained through a sieve into the same broth. Let them boil with a little cinnamon and sugar. I don't know if I'd do that. Then cover the bottom of your dish of pottage with macaroons, biscuits, marchpanes. Again, sweets. That's strange. When the quails are dressed, pour the white broth upon them. Garnish all with slices of lemon, also with the juice and kernels of pomegranate, which you don't see very often in the cookbooks, when ready to serve up to the table. So this is from the Court and Country Cook. And this is, I believe, fairly early in the 18th century, probably pre-1750. And we also have there a pottage of partridges. Speaking of quails, this is the blue-breasted quail, 1785, and we do have books. This is sort of a naturalists of the time period would have their journals. They would sketch birds and have a little description here. There's even, if you look at the bottom, he wrote out the quail's little song And, you know, at the very end, he says it makes this sound like Pepico. So, pretty neat. I love that kind of personal, just a journal. We have plenty of still lifes in the time period, and this is a common, a common theme of food and food waiting to be prepared. And of course, they asked about songbirds. Well, who knows? Obviously, the birds we have here in the background waiting to be cooked up. The one with the big beak that's blue looks like it's a kingfisher. I don't know about the little red guy beside him or the other ones, but just, standard songbirds. The one on the extreme right looks like a woodpecker. I mean, they're just eating whatever, whatever they can bring out of the sky. They're going to cook it up one way or the other. I wouldn't have thought it would be worth the cooking. I mean, how much meat could be on some little tiny bird like that?
Well, you know what I always say.
What would you say, Ryan?
If you can bring it out of the sky, give it a try.
Whoa. I feel like I'm in the presence of a poet.
I didn't know it.
Next.
This is the image that brought about the topic in the first place. We're not sure, they're not sure, but they think this is possibly John Latham, a famous naturalist of the 18th century, ornithologist. And the art here is probably, it's not dated exactly, but it's late 18th century, likely say 1795, 1800, maybe a little bit later than that. And here he is studying, wing feathers. We've got mounted birds. We've got dead birds waiting to be mounted or at least studied, possibly taken apart, and to look at their osteology, their bones, and how they're put together. So all these naturalists in the time period are very interested in how to classify these birds and what they can learn from them. We have Audubon from the time period who's taking birds, and you would you'd have the dead bird and you would try to draw it in a lifelike situation. Probably behind, you can kind of see that green bird in the background. It's probably stuffed and in a display situation. And he has these other birds waiting. Again, it's like, is he going to dissect them? Is he going to dissect them and then stuff them? So, a naturalist of the time period. Now, this is an image of a private museum. So the art isn't beautiful here. It doesn't look very 3D here. But Sir Ashton Lever created this museum, and he had all these cases of natural wonders. So we see all these sea creatures here in this first level, and then as it goes back, more sea creatures, and we got stuffed birds, lots and lots of stuffed birds. It kind of goes and goes back. It's a fun image to see how the artist decided to have these kind of layers going backwards like that with the arches and this museum unfortunately was not. It was called the Holofusikon or something like that. And it opened in 1775. It wasn't a success. And at one point he kind of gives up on it, and he wants to sell the entire collection. He finally decides the only way he could do it was to have a raffle. So he raffled off his entire museum. And they call it a lottery. And he had 36,000 tickets. They were expensive. He only sold 8,000 tickets. And unfortunately, out of the 8,000, one of those was the winner. So he really lost out. He didn't sell all his tickets, and yet he had to, give away his museum. The person who won it took the museum to a different location, a less expensive location. And I don't know how well they did. But it remained in that location till 1806 when it was sold at auction. and broken up, and who knows where all those pieces went to. This is George Stubbs again. So remember the horse that fell with the person with the basket of eggs. This is a study of an animal, and he did lots of these. You would see them. He would do like horses and whatnot. So, the feathers can hide what's really going on with the body, and an artist wants to know exactly how they can pose an animal in a lifelike setting. And so here he is. It's like, well, what's really going on with the underneath of this animal, and drawing it. So, very interesting anatomical study. This one's it's a little, again, Stubbs, and this is an owl, a plucked owl. So what are they like underneath all those feathers? A little sad, if you ask me, but we can see maybe how owls can actually turn their head all the way around. They've got a huge long neck that you would have never guessed because their feathers are all fluffy around there. Another study of owls and animals. We have artists that do this so that they can sort of put together a bigger piece of art. So they make these sketches and studies. They can, put them all together at a later date. This is a Swiss artist active in Great Britain from about 1800. So this is an early 19th century. And here, thankfully, our owls still have feathers on them.
I think I should interject real quick.
Sure.
Or interrupt, actually. Cajun Prepper sends a donation without a comment.
Thank you.
And then, I don't know, Bubba, 2525H. Let's see, Ryan eat a turkey vulture?
No.
I don't like that one.
No. Number one, I don't think it's legal. Although...
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm not into breaking the law.
And turkey vultures are disgusting.
Mike Crook, a tip for Poet Ryan. Wow. Thank you.
Let's hope it was a small one.
John Talley is in Super Chat. I love Ryan's cooking videos. Hard to believe that someone could be as good as John. Well, no, but he is. Has Ryan or John done much cooking on the rotisserie set you guys sell? Any tips that you can give me? We have, I don't think in videos a whole lot.
A few times.
Yeah, but we have.
Like the hanging rotisserie we've used.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you put the stuff on there and you take your time, really.
Right.
It's all about, it's like, okay, it's not done yet.
Yeah,
it can take a lot longer than you expect.
The whole thing is don't put it right on the fire or in the fire. Just let it do its thing.
Right.
Be patient. Find something to do while it's cooking. And that catches us up. But I did want to take. Man, these guys are they're really joking at my expense today, I think.
Really?
No, they're nice.
Good.
Well, let's go ahead and take a moment to talk about our supporters.
Yes, exactly. I try to get to brand new Patreon people whenever I can, almost every live stream. And yes, right here they are. Brand new Patreon people this week. Vernon McDonald, Kara Powers, Autumn Caravona, Noah Nicanor, John Breakfast. That's a cool last name. Yeah. T. Kennedy, Cullen Forsman, and then some folks help us out by just sort of one-shot things on PayPal. Christopher Ford is in there. Thank you, Christopher Ford. He's like there every week. You're killing it, man. T Plus, brand new supporters on the Townsends Plus, so you can check that out at townsendspluscom. Anna Marie J, Michael C, Paul Michael A, Christian F, Lassie P, Felicia W, Greg H, Seb C, William T, and Charles F. Lots of folks over there on Townsends Plus. You guys make it happen. It's really helpful. And of course, thank you guys in the Super Chat.
Yes. Midwest Minuteman is in Super Chat. A tip for Ryan, the bartending, cooking warrior poet.
Warrior poet?
I don't come up with these things. This is just what's said about my work. The critics are kind today. Rita Loy sends a super chat, and I'm not sure if this was somebody said I will donate $100 earlier. Was that Rita? Okay, so Rita said earlier I will donate $100 if anybody can find a word that rhymes with orange, and she made good on her promise. So thank you so much. Let's play that game more often.
Porridge?
Yeah, we should do that one again.
Snorange? I'm not sure what rhymes.
Sporange, an old word for part of a fern.
There you go.
Okay. I learn something new every day.
Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. Fat Produce is in super chat. What are your favorite fall Townsends hats to wear? Ooh.
Well, I like wearing Monmouth caps all winter long.
Same here. That's all you're going to hear from us on that.
Well, there's the fur cap.
Ooh, that's really good if you get super cold. I'm not that person, so it's a little warm for me.
I can wear them like all day. So there you go.
John comes into the area that Aaron and I work with a blanket sometimes.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like,
and we're in tank tops and shorts.
Somebody keeps asking about checking out Cooper's. We'll look into that. I see your comment. Thank you. Yeah. Fanis says that they will donate $1 million, but doesn't say what we have to do to receive that donation. So, and Neil just came in with a super chat without a comment, and that I think we're all caught up.
well, let's quick run through the rest of these birds, guys. British Birds, a book of the time period with images and descriptions of birds. We have a crazy collection. I don't know, the artist was really having fun here stretching this image out. And we've got, parrots, and we've got chickens, and we've got, I don't know what that red bird with the giant crest. I just don't know what it is. There's probably a thing here that tells me what it is, but it's crazy. This image is a fun one. Birds near a mountain stream. Somewhere in the early 18th century, possibly very late 17th century. And I believe this person was near a port that had lots of trading. So different kinds of birds would come in. People would bring the birds in from different parts of the world. So the red bird over here is a spoonbill. That's from North America. Even though the artist is he's Dutch, so he's in Europe. But we have all sorts of different kinds of birds kind of dropping into this image. I don't know what that cool blue purple one is, or where it's from. Some of these birds are from Europe, some of them are from North Africa, but so we get to see lots of exotic birds, and you kind of shove them into this image altogether. I love the little house though in the background, sort of right here by the river. It's possible that it was a mill, kind of up there. You can see that sort of the dam in the background. So there's possibly a mill thing going on here with it, but a great fun image and interesting in its sort of almost pastel-y look to it. This image we've seen before. It's on Sifting the Past, and it's got that parrot. She's like, the parrot. It's on my. It's kind of wonder whether, she wasn't ready for this. The artist is like, here, put this parrot on your shoulder, and she doesn't look very excited about having that parrot on her shoulder. But we have cuts of meat. We have probably little onions there. Lots of bowls and whatnot. And the artist again showing off here with the bottle and the reflections and the pewter plate that's all polished there behind the bottle, and we see a reflection of it in there. He's showing off.
He's
showing off. Yeah. I think that's Here we go. Boy, a portrait of Louis Philippe Joseph d'Orleans, the Duke of Orleans. So super high-end clothing, obviously, with all this gold lace, and it's probably an estate here, and he's got his pet tamed swans, which aren't known for being very nice. We got his
No.
his fancy hat that he's kind of showing off, and he's he's kind of pointing at and check out the red-heeled shoes, right, Aaron?
Oh.
Red-heeled shoes.
Yeah.
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 So there you go. Next.
Yep. Would you say they were crimson?
Yeah,
heeled?
it was crimson. This is a United States image. So not a lot are happening in the colonies. Not a lot of artwork is happening in the colonies before, say, 1800 or so. This artist is about 1750, so it's fairly early. This is Mrs. John Pigott, and let's see, what was it? Settled in New England, and she's got this very interesting little black bird, and it is let's see, in front of it, it's a small native bird. It doesn't say exactly what the bird is that's perched on her fingers, but people did have pet birds and pet exotic birds. I'm not sure how she kept it. Maybe that's a super tame bird that doesn't want to fly away, but if I had a bird like that, it would fly away.
Okay.
That's it.
All of my pet birds were happy to perch on my finger
Really?
and just stay.
Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. Actually, I've never had a pet bird, so I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just joking.
In the super chat, Zor Phoenix says, "Thank you for being the inspiration to build a frontier town. We have the land and we'll build the tavern first. Cheers."
Oh yeah, that's
Man.
where I would start.
Yes. That's where you have to start.
You gotta, when you're building the other stuff, you have to have some place to go to rest and get a beverage.
I think that I talked about Neil's super chat, but just in case, Neil did a super chat without a comment, and somebody very early put a super chat with a comment of nutmeg, but I can't get back to see who that was, so I'm really sorry about that.
What is going on with this thing you have? The vortex machine is always breaking and losing stuff.
Glasses too. It's just strange.
Maybe it's
I
the
don't know.
mail. It's like mail service. When it gets here into the 18th century, it just sort of.
So we have another super chat that just says thank you.
Thank you.
And somebody, a lot of people are concerned, John.
What
For
are they
us,
concerned about? Because of your poetry?
they're-
I would
no,
be
they-
concerned.
They love the poetry. In fact, the love is just rolling in for the poetry. But about splinters in our hands when we work on stuff.
Huh?
And I just gotta say, we don't have city boy hands right here. We don't. They're wondering why we don't wear gloves.
Gloves? You ever tried making a pair of gloves? It's really hard.
I don't think we had any injuries.
No,
No,
well,
Really? Not even on the cabin.
I threw a shingle at Brandon and hit him in the shin.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that? Oh,
He
owie.
was hurting for a while.
Right.
And he passed a tool to me that hit me in the foot. That's all that happened. But it wasn't a sharp tool, so don't worry. It was just a pounding tool.
You didn't need that toe anyway.
No. And that catches us up from what I can see. I missed something. Not a super chat, a comment that I thought was really cool. But it's gone. I'm so sorry.
Do you remember what it was about?
No. I'm looking for it.
Some people fall down on the job. Maybe they're thinking too much about poetry.
Listen,
instead of
I've got verse after verse over here. Sorry, I missed one comment.
Well, we're hoping to get some reading done.
Ooh,
This coming up in the next couple of days. That ought to be some fun. A little reading. That might give people a hint.
Jeez.
I'm gonna read to you.
No. Well, maybe.
are.
Somebody will. Yeah.
I can't find that comment.
I'm so sorry.
But they've been wonderful.
We need to work on some poetry. We need to have a poetry episode.
Ooh,
Yep.
that would be fun.
We'll have some 18th century poetry, and we'll have some fake 18th century poetry that we will write.
Yes. That sounds so good.
And poetry was very popular in the time period. I mean, people would write whole books of poetry that was like about a topic that it wasn't meant to be. It's like, say you were going to write a book about a study on rocks. And you said, well, I'm not going to write that in prose. I'll write that in poetry. Yeah. And cookbooks kind of written in poetry. There's some experimentations with that. They were crazy.
Oh, I know what it was.
Yeah.
It was a simple question. People want to know what you're drinking today.
Oh, well, I've got some of the mead over here. This is the dregs of the bottle. It's looking a little thick, but still good. Still good. It's not so thick that you gotta get it out with a spoon. Still good. And wonderful oolong tea with the nutmeg in it. You don't want to put nutmeg in mead unless you're doing metheglin, which is a kind of mead that's spiced, and you would have nutmeg in that.
Somebody says that we should have a staff member here
That's just poetry?
that has to guess which ones are real and which ones are fake.
Oh, like it's a game.
Okay.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh, that sounds like work.
Robert Green. Robert Green's been a member for 17 months, this says. So thank
He
you.
must be like number one.
That's like a golden nutmeg of all golden nutmegs.
Right.
And it says,
he needs a special emoji.
You need
where
two golden
were the
nutmegs.
goods stowed before in the hold?
Just say it again.
Where were the goods stowed before in the hold?
So, like going into the hold of the ship?
I'm guessing that.
Well, I mean, they're going to be in warehouses, and then whoop, they're offloaded, and they go into the hold of a ship. It's not like they have big containers, big giant steel boxes to put stuff in, and they, things might be stored in kegs, they might be stored in, crates or in bales, or they had all these different kinds of fun ways of storing things. We don't really think of that today. Everything goes into the same giant steel box.
So, Robert, if we didn't understand your question correctly, just let me know.
Right.
And also, okay, so we do need to talk about Halloween. Now, there's been a question as to what John could read.
Yeah.
And we have talked about that, but let me tell you,
Yeah.
it hasn't been very easy. We've got an idea, and I'll see if I can twist John's arm. But we do have something really special planned. Aaron, you should tell him about it.
About next week?
Yes.
So next live stream, please tune in. We're probably going to promote it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are going to, as of right now, do you want to just say what it is?
Just do it. Just do it.
John, Josh, and I are going to sit down and watch a short film we made 10 years ago called Death by Zombies. And we're going to watch it, and we're going to do commentary, and we're going to do a Q&A on it, and it's going to be a blast from the past, and it's going to be awesome, and you should be there.
Is it going to be just an hour, or do we need more time for that one?
I think we could do it in an hour.
Okay.
It's only 12, 13 minutes. Okay. Watch through it at the beginning and then talk about it. But yeah, so Josh, as of right now, Josh will be in the tavern next week with John and I, and we're going to watch this old...
It's not old.
Technically, it was a promo for our knives.
Yeah.
And it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
We spent months on it.
So in the super chat right now, John Talley, coin for Aaron. Is Aaron the guy in charge of camera stuff? The long videos you guys do are incredibly well done. When do we get another one?
We just did one.
Well,
we have a couple ideas.
We do have some
some
ideas, and we're really excited about them. But we can't promise because those long videos have to happen while we're making other videos too.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to say when they're going to come out, but they are coming. Jonestown Autopsy. This person is just really excited about Indiana and Ohio. And
they're exciting places. Let me tell you, it is hopping here. It is amazing. It's like a metropolis, and things are happening everywhere. Wagons and horses. It's crazy.
Phil Klum is in Super Chat. Beautiful bird prints, and Ryan's hat is awesome.
Well, he made it.
I actually, you know what?
No? You just found that one on the street?
Okay, so this was a blank that was already made, and then I formed it. That's what it was. Because it's got candle wax on it.
Right.
It's been through it, but she's a good hat.
Still holding together.
Yeah.
Still holding together.
Hey, real quick, a lot of
Mr.
people.
Bubbles 2 says Keltoid 5.
A lot of people in the chat are like, "Oh, zombie! What is this?" If you go on our channel and look up zombie, it's there on the channel. So everyone watch it before next Friday. Get familiar with it. We'll watch it together.
I'm wondering whether we need to re-release it, but it's all right.
Re-release it?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Listen here, though. I don't think I don't think Josh has been in a video since we did the wilderness, since we did the log structure, right?
Really?
It's been a long time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I think we actually filmed the log structure before we did canoe, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we filmed
So,
that a long time ago.
It's been 3 years
Yeah.
since we've gotten Josh
Since
to,
we've worked with him.
Right.
I think he was in a live stream.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but he's going to be in here, and he's going to be talking, and you guys have to see
Yes.
him.
Yep.
And so will Mr. Bubbles. He's
Yeah,
hanging
he's
up right there.
right
I'm going to
there.
grab him after we're done so I remember to
Put him
remember
in
him
the set.
in
Yeah.
the set.
Well, no, you.
He's going to be sitting with us, I think.
Well, but we're. Forget that. I'm
I
not
know.
saying
I know.
anything.
I know.
We're going to see what
got
else. We've got a couple of props laying around, and I'm going to see what we can.
Oh yeah, there was stuff in the basement.
Yeah.
Still there.
Right.
Still there.
Oh, yeah,
10
there
years
is.
later, this stuff is still in the basement.
That particular
Alright.
basement is just kind of a graveyard of the zombie film at this point.
Yep.
So
It is.
it's going to be a lot of fun. It's time to wrap this up.
Woo! Already? Wow. It's been an incredible Thursday, and I don't know how I do a week without a live stream, and thank goodness you're here to help me out and come into the live stream and kind of perk everything up and wake us up and give us the encouragement to keep going. And we make a lot of videos, and it can get a little tiring, but when we've got an audience like you guys and you're like excited about, and it just makes it easy. It makes it easy to want to go out and do another thing. You guys make it happen, whether you're on Patreon or PayPal or Townsends Plus or in Super Chat or just in the comment section and helping us out and sharing videos. All those things make a massive difference to us and what we can and can't do. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Aaron. Have a wonderful Thursday evening, and tomorrow's Friday. See you later.